Hey, it's Marlon Smith here. So excited to have you, the Real Money Coach. Go ahead and type in the chat box where you're watching from, because you know you're in the right place at the right time. Listen, I am so excited. Tonight's show, oh my goodness, we have some very special guests who are going to rock the house, and they're going to share their experience. You know, what we love is, it's not about just doing things to be doing things. It's about really making a positive difference. And to me, tonight, you're going to hear real life testimonies of individuals that have gone through this process and are living their life at a higher purpose. And so thank you. Dr. Benita Harris is in the house. Type in the chat box where you're watching from. So we're going to see which state rocks the house. Right now, we got North Carolina, okay, with the lead. So we want to see who else is here. I don't want to spend a lot of time, but I do want to say this. This is our last, my goodness, this is our last March 2021, The Real Money Coach. I mean, let that sink in. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? Because next Thursday is April 1st. Yes, it is. And is it me, or does it feel like time is just flying by? I mean, just things are moving so fast. Oh, we got another, Ruth is in the house. All right, Charlotte in the house. All right. Evelyn's here, North Carolina, once again. And then Chad Lawson said, y'all know where I'm from and who I represent. Laugh out loud. Right? You hear that laugh in the background. So let me bring him on. Tony Jackson. We got Timothy Day. Great to have you, Timothy. How you doing, Tony?
Man, I am awesome, man. I am doing well. How you doing, Marlon?
Man, I'm feeling really good, man. A lot of blessings.
Man, me too, man. I'm feeling pretty awesome tonight, man. I'm so geeked tonight, man, because we have so much going on. We got some phenomenal guests, a couple that's going to be on tonight. Man, just really excited about that. Just a wonderful couple I've had the chance to meet a few months ago. And so excited about that. And Marlon, I'm excited, man, because we got a lot of great things going on. As you mentioned, this is our last show in March.
Right.
And next year, or next week, is April 1st. And
that's right.
We did our first show on April 2nd, 2020. 2020. So 1 year, man. And we started out, we were going to do one show, then it turned to two, and then three. And now here we are a year later. We got a phenomenal guest who's going to be here. It's going to be Tara Gray. Right. And she's just been appointed to a small business appointment by the governor of California. She's going to be our guest next week. And so that's going to be pretty awesome to have her on the show with us.
Right.
But tonight we're excited. And the other thing, man, this is the thing, Marlon. April is what? What month is April? Right.
I think attack.
It is the Financial Literacy Month. It is National Financial Literacy Month. And so we have some big, wonderful, bodacious things planned for April. So you want to talk about April 24th? You want to tell people to mark the calendar?
Yeah, April 24th is going to be phenomenal from the standpoint that, listen, how many of you know Les Brown? Type in the chat box, yes or no. Do you know who Les Brown is? I had the opportunity one, and I call him a friend. I do call him a friend. And so Les Brown, yes or no? Do you know who Les Brown is? Oh, Chase is in the house, my cousin. All right, good to have you, Chase. And so listen, Les Brown, Dr. Dennis Kimbrough, Megan Lynch, and Eugene Mitchell are coming together for our first The Real Money Coach Wealth Summit. It's going to be on Saturday, April 24th. There's the little flyer. It's going to be, actually, we've even said, you know what? We can't do it in 3 hours. So it's going to be 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday, April 24th. And what we want you to do, go to therealmoneycoach.com/events or click the events button and go ahead and reserve your seat. Share with your family, share with your friends. This is going to be phenomenal. It's going to be epic. It really is. And so I see everybody saying, yes.
I got to correct you, though, man. I got to correct you, man, because I just sent out a well wish to Dennis Kimbrough. We talked DM through LinkedIn, It won't be Dr. Dennis Kimbrough because he had a loss in his family, his dear wife of 50 years, but it will be Dr. George Frazier. So it'll be Dr. George Frazier, Megan Lynch.
Say Kimbrough? Did I say Kimbrough?
You said Kimbrough, yeah, man. So, and we know he had it, but, you know, we got to understand he's going through that process. So it will be Dr. George Frazier, Eugene Mitchell. You guys remember Eugene Mitchell? He wrote the book, and we did a book here. He came on our show, Closing the Racial Wealth Gap, right? And then, of course, we all know Dr. George Frazier's bestseller, 6 books. And then we also have Megan Lynch, and she's the founder, one of the 4 founders of the first Forex, Black-owned Forex trading companies in the United States, in the world for that matter, right? So, and then, as you said, Marlon, we got the man himself, Mr. Les Brown, will be our keynote speaker for that day. And so, man, you're talking about a heavy-hitting conference, right? 4 hours of, I think somebody said, I can't remember who it was. Somebody put in the chat that they're both the truth. They're all the truth. Chase put that in there. So we are talking about heavy hitters, 4 hours. Mark your calendars. April 24th from 10 a.m. Eastern to 2 p.m. Eastern. There's going to be 2 different experiences. There's going to be a general admission, and then there's going to be a VIP admission, where you will actually be able to ask questions. You'll be able to network with our keynote speakers, including Les Brown. And so we got some other perks that are going to be in there, including, listen, this is part of the VIP experience, including a 30-day, oh man, maybe I shouldn't even say that. I will. Okay, I guess I said it. A 30-day free trial of TRMC University. TRMC University, the Real Money Coach University. We're going to give a trial. We're going to give a couple trials out, 30-day free trial of that university where you can come and get your learning on, Marlon. You can get your learning on. Right?
That's right.
So,
that's
man,
right.
That's, you know, and then also you become part of the private Facebook group. I mean, and we have the public Facebook group that many of you are part of. But then when you're a paid patron of our programs, then you get to be in the private group, and that's where the magic happens. So, Marlon, right. I'm excited about that, man. I'm hyped.
I see you are, man.
A lot of good things, man.
Yeah.
So
what else are you excited about? What else are you excited about?
Man,
what else are you excited about?
Man, I tell you what, we got our special guest tonight. I'm really excited about that. About them as a couple. I've spent some time with them and what have you. Now, listen, we have some other big things happening in April. We can't be the Real Money Coach and not have big things happening in April. So we got our Financial Wellness Summit, but we also have something else. And I think, Marlon, I don't know, do you want to tell them about it or do you want to show them?
I think a picture's worth 1,000 words. And so a video is, oh my goodness, millions, right? So I say we show them.
Well, man, let's have the tech guy that's better than the best tech guy on this side of the heavens, right? Chris Jackson, let him roll the video.
Hello, I am Marlon Smith.
And I'm Tony Jackson.
And we are
the
Real Money Coach. We are super excited to be partnering with the Marriage Club and the Black Couples Getaway to bring you financial wellness for couples, families, and individuals.
This webinar series actually begins on Tuesday, April 13th. It's at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Listen, you can find out more details by going to our website, therealmoneycoach.com. But listen, let me tell you this. The reason we're really here is to make 2 great announcements. Marlon, are you ready to make one of these announcements?
Yes! On April 6th at 8 p.m. Eastern, we're having a very special launch event. That's right, a special launch event with none other than the one and only Dr. Boyce Watkins as our special keynote speaker.
Did you really just say Boyce Watkins? The renowned, the nationally known Black economic guru, Dr. Boyce Watkins, and it's free?
That's right. Dr. Boyce Watkins will be our special guest presenter on April 6th, 2021 at 8 p.m. Eastern. And it's free. Yes, it is. Now, Tony, share our second big announcement.
Yeah, Marlon, I'd love to do that. Listen, as many of you know that BCG and the Marriage Club are going to be going to the Dominican Republic together. Listen, this is going to take place in August. It's going to be a phenomenal trip to Punta Cana in the Dominican.
Wow, that's an amazing announcement.
Marlon, that's not the announcement. Here's the announcement. You can win a free trip to the Dominican paid for by the Real Money Coach. Yes, that's right. We are going to pay for one lucky couple to travel on this wonderful trip to the Dominican.
Come on now, Tony, you're kidding me, right?
No, I'm not kidding at all. If you win this trip, all you have to do is pay for your transportation to the Dominican. And the Real Money Coach is covering the registration fee.
So how do they win the trip?
Hey, Marlon, listen, let me tell everyone how they can win the trip. You have to attend the kickoff event on April 6th with Dr. Boyce Watkins. You have to attend. At that event, we will be making an announcement of how you can win this trip.
Listen, make sure you go ahead and enroll, reserve your seat at www.therealmoneycoach.com. This is going to be epic.
Wow.
Well, that was fun. Man,
That's great.
Listen, I am so excited about that, man. So for those of you who are from the Marriage Club, those of you who are from BCG, those of you who are just listening, meet us in the Dominican. My wife and I will be there. So meet us in the Dominican Republic in August. Listen, to win this trip, right? We're not even going to tell you how you can win the trip. You got to show up and hear Boyce Watkins so that you can find out how you can win the trip. Now, some of you say, well, I don't want to wait to reserve my trip, right? Or maybe I want to go ahead and make my reservation for the Dominican trip now. Well, guess what? If you do that, what we've determined is that if you've already booked your trip, or maybe you've already paid for your trip, if you end up being the winner, which you don't know how you can do that yet, but you'll find out on April 6th, then the value that we'll give you if you've already done that is $2,000. But if you haven't booked, then we're going to take care of it. But if you've booked and you got your reservation, that's the value we'll give you. But you got to go. I mean, you can't take a money, not go. You got to go on the trip. So we're looking forward to that, Marlon. What you think, man? You think that's pretty awesome?
It's very awesome. Very awesome. And so again, go to therealmoneycoach.com and, you can learn more. But, again, as Tony said, you have to go ahead and just reserve your seat for the kickoff event, April 6th at 8 p.m. Eastern with Dr. Boyce Watkins, because again, it's free. And please do not miss, don't equate the fact that, it's free, it must not be of value. It is very much of value. Dr. Boyce Watkins has, I think, 3.2 million followers, social media. And the beautiful thing is that he's been in this helping, really his focus is people of color to really elevate when it comes to the financial legacy wealth. And so we're so grateful, so honored to have him as a special guest speaker on April 6th. That's a Tuesday. So it's not going to be on this show. So go ahead, go to therealmoneycoach.com, go to the website and click the events button and go ahead and reserve your seat. And what I really want to say is encourage your family, your friends to join you, right? I mean, that's really what it's about. Each one teach one, each one reach one. And so we're excited. We look forward to seeing you. Type in the chat box, will you be there on April 6th? Yes or no? Right? Because, I'm a man of action. It's like no reason to talk the talk, no reason to get people excited. Will you join us? We hope so. It's complimentary. It's our gift to you. It's almost like a 1-year anniversary, right? If you think about it, we started, as Tony said, on April 2nd last year. Now, April 6th, boom, we're like, let's celebrate our 1-year anniversary of the Real Money Coach, these Thursday night programs. All right. So I see people saying, yes, thank you so much. All right. And so again,
man,
that's what it's all about.
God's good, man. Listen, we've gone from from, just you and I sharing the screen, and our platform has changed and improved and all this. And now we're bringing Boyce Watkins to all of our listeners and followers and everyone, for free. And so why wouldn't you register, man? Why wouldn't you register to do that for free? I'm just impressed with the guy, man. When I saw Boyce, he was on the Breakfast Club, and he had a shirt on, and it said hashtag own or be owned. And then what's so interesting is that I was watching live Facebook, Pastor Sonny from the Marriage Club, the Lighthouse Church, right? So, and he had put in there hashtag own or be owned. And I was like, wow, I just saw that when I was rewatching some of Dr. Boyce Watkins things. But Marlon, let's get to it, man. We got some guests that's waiting in the green room. I think we ought to bring them on out. So, folks, we want to bring out both Lisa and J.R. McKinney. They are from here in Charlotte. They are what we call BCG veterans, right? They're veterans of BCG, and he's a business owner, and she owns businesses and all that kind of stuff. So, let's bring on Lisa and JR. How you doing this evening?
Hey.
Hi, we're good. How are you all?
All right. How y'all, man? Y'all look great. You look great.
Thank you.
I gotta ask you this question.
Okay.
Seeing that video, knowing that you've been on BCG trips before, knowing that you've attended the financial wellness class before, tell me what was your immediate reaction when you saw that little promotion video? Other than, me and Marlon, kind of having fun, what was your reaction to it?
Well, for one, it was a great promo. And to me, I'm thinking that people have no earthly idea the value, the true value, beyond just the $2,000 or however much for them to attend, because BCG trips are priceless as far as the information that you get while you're there, the relationship empowerment, the relationships that you build. We have friendships with couples now all across the country. And as a result of being BCG vets, we were able to meet you all and to do some things with the Real Money Coach. And I don't think there are enough words to explain it.
Wow. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
And I know Lisa and JR, Tony's been working with you and as far as some financial coaching, and that's been a blessing. But he definitely knows you. He speaks kindly of you. But for our viewers and myself, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you're doing.
Okay, you want to go first?
Okay, I'll go first. I'm Lisa McKinney. I am a corporate events professional. I've been in that industry for 20 years. I also help to manage my husband's business that he will now tell you all about.
Yes, my name is JR. I'm the owner of JR Massage Therapy, and it's a great business for doing chair and also table massages, for having licensed massage therapists to do chair and table massages for guests on different events, bridal showers, you name trade shows, different agendas like that. So it's a great business.
And individuals.
And individual also, residential.
Right.
Awesome. And I know that for a while there, before the pandemic happened, you were like doing things at the airport and all that type of stuff. But tell me, how long have you guys been married? I mean, just give us a little bit. What's the family like? Tell me. Let's find out about the McKinneys.
Sure. We've in about a month we'll be celebrating our 3rd anniversary. We are a big blended family. Together we have 5 children and 8 grandchildren. So it's a great partnership I think we have going here.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
That is
Ron,
really
what do you want to know
awesome.
about the McKinneys?
I'm sorry. Say it again.
I said, what do you want to know about the McKinneys?
Yeah, I just, I mean, I love the smile. I know I met you at a future, an event over in Tennessee, at a BCG, right?
Yeah.
And that was a very special event, right? And I, for me, this will be, I think, your 5th or 6th, upcoming trip, and you'll be in the DR. Why do you keep on coming back to the Black Couples Getaway? Well, I mean, what is it that makes it so unique that it's like, so special that you're saying, I'm going to make this investment?
Well, it's very powerful. It's powerful in terms of relationship. Speaking for relationship, they have one of the hosts. One of the things they do is empowerment sessions with the men and the women together, and the men separate and the women separate. And that's a very, very powerful thing. We've been having men in there praying together. I mean, it's uplifting and it's inspiration. You see everybody always having a great time. Never have no drama. The times we've been there, we done been out 4 or 5 times. Never had no drama. Everybody always been in a great mood. You meet different people. You network. You might have somebody in the same field as you, and they be in a different state, or it's just a great thing, man. A great networking also opportunity.
And a lot of fun.
And a lot of fun. Right. That's right. Yeah, I mean, that's the beautiful thing about it is, as you said, JR, being able to come and, connect and talk real talk, right? And then also, Lisa, to have the fun. I mean, you got the comedy, you got the shows, the live shows, you got the battle of the sexes. I mean, then you got the empowerment. I mean, wonderful event. And I see someone in the chat box said, are these real vacations? Somebody please contact me with some information, please, right? People are getting excited. So, you can always send an email if you have any questions, info@therealmoneycoach.com, right? And we can put you in contact with whoever, you wanted us to put you in contact with, or if you have some questions. So I want all of us to understand, again, I know we're just sharing so much and you see the excitement. We can always send an email to info@therealmoneycoach. And so go ahead, Tony, what were you going to say?
Well, and I was just saying, the title of our show tonight was Mind, Body, and Money, right? And when we think about that, in terms of mind, body, and money, you have to unplug. I think it's important. I mean, because we can work, and as a business owner, entrepreneur, sometimes we think that, hey, that means you don't work as hard, but you actually work harder than you do when you have a job oftentimes. And so I think one of the things that's important is to have this vacation and unplug. And I have not been on one. This will be my first trip with BCG and the Marriage Club combined. So what a wonderful thing to see these two groups come together. But I think it's important that for our mental, emotional health, that sometimes we just unplug. And, I love some of the things that they just shared in terms of you're just not going, you got your leisure time, but there's also some enrichment, and they mentioned empowerment. So I think that's pretty cool that that's all part of it. So you have a chance to kind of relax and know your mind. With JR and Lisa, would you guys agree with that? I mean, what do you think?
Absolutely.
Oh yes, most definitely.
Absolutely.
So we got the mind part, right, with the vacation. We got JR the part with the body, man. Got to work out them kinks and in my neck and all that kind of stuff, right? And then we got the financial wellness class with the money. So mind, body, and money. I mean, and so I love that. I love the fact that. So Lisa, tell me one of your most memorable moments at one of 4 BCG trips. Is there one that sticks out to you?
Oh my gosh, there are so many. I can say this: last year's Gatlinburg trip was my official birthday party, and so that was quite memorable. But our very, very first time attending a BCG trip, we were literally blown away by the empowerment sessions. That is still my absolute favorite. Even with all of the fun and all of the networking and of course, all the great people that we've met and the great relationships that we've built. But the empowerment sessions are literally that. They are empowering. You really come out of them almost like you're floating, because for one, you find out that you're not alone in whatever it is. And just being able to have a positive outlook, and then you look around and you're with 3 or 4 or 5 or 700 other people that look like you, that are like-minded, that feel the same way. It's amazing. It really is.
Wow. Wow. So I'm trying to get all the lowdown, man, because I'm going on this trip. I want to know what I'm expecting, right? So what about the battle of the sexes? What that sounds like a little competition going on, JR. What's going on with the battle of the sexes?
Yeah, well, of course, I'm gonna have to go ahead and tell you, the men are the champions right now. We took the title, and we claiming it, and we gonna keep that title for the next coming. So I'm representing for us men. We're gonna do the damn thing. You know what I'm saying?
I love it. I love it.
They just got it back. The men just got it back. The ladies have had it for the last 3 trips.
Whatever.
So it's okay. We'll let you all hold on to it just for this once, and then we'll take it back in the DR.
Right. A little competition.
So now let's shift it over. Let's talk a little bit about financial wellness. You guys have attended one of the, I think you might have attended an 8-week session, actually. So tell us about that. What was that experience like for you, the financial wellness?
Oh, well, it was I think it was a great experience. It was a lot of knowledge on money that I didn't know about, wasn't aware of, and using the Real Money Coach, we was able to get like a 401 type retirement set up, and it's looking good. It's looking good. It's always, you can always increase it, or make it more, or however you want to do it. But it's really a lot of knowledge that I gained from it myself, and was able to utilize it.
Wow.
All right, Lisa, what about you? What do you think? I know you were like really engaged. You're always engaged in the chat and all that stuff. So
yeah, it was excellent, actually. The workbook was filled with great information, and lots of tools that you can use. We use it personally and in business. So it was just excellent. And of course, when the group is together, other people might ask a question, and then you get answers to something that you didn't think about, and then you're like, oh, okay. So it was really good. I mean, we really enjoyed it, and we would do it again in a heartbeat.
Okay, that's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, there is another class coming up on April 13th. I'm just saying, what? So
We in there.
Yeah. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I love about, JR and Lisa, is the fact that, it's just like when you go and watch a movie, right? You've seen the movie before, you see it again, you see something different. And it's all about where you are, right, in your life. And for them to say, hey, we're going to come back and do it again. Let's do it again. Y'all remember that? Richard Pryor, Sidney Poitier,
Yep.
Let's do it again. Uptown Saturday Night, right? And the thing is that is for our viewers, you can always grow. You can always learn. And I think that's very important, for them. This couple, you can see the smiles. You can see, JR was like, hey, we've made some investments. We're doing some things. Lisa's talking about the workbook and just hearing somebody else. And what I really love about it is, tell me this, JR and Lisa, isn't it true that you don't feel embarrassed? Don't we we create a open community where, there's no shame in raising your hand, asking a question, And is that true? Would you say, I mean, am I right on point?
Yeah, absolutely. It was very comfortable for us. Whether we were asking questions in the chat or we were able to ask something verbally. And even if we had a question like after the class, we could email you all and get a response back. We could email you. And so just being able to have that personal contact and know that, if we had a question or if we need a referral, we got some business referrals and things like that.
Wow.
So yeah, it's really been a great experience for us.
Wow. Thank you so much. And I mean, so Tony, you mentioned that we had they went through an 8-week program. Now we've condensed it into a 6-week program. Why don't you share what, these 6 weeks will be?
Absolutely, man. I'd love to do that. So what we're doing is we're going to have our first week, and it's going to be on financial psychology. So week 1, we're going to talk about financial psychology, kind of unpacking the mindset as it relates to money. And then we move into week 2 when we really kind of get into it, right? We start to get to work, and we're talking about budgeting. We're talking about having a savings plan and those types of things, controlling our spending and all of that. That's going to be in week number 2. Now, remember, this class actually starts on April 13th. So they're each Tuesday evenings at 8 p.m. And then we move to, after budgeting, we then move into personal credit profile. What things make up your credit? How do you repair your credit? How do you do some of these types of things? So we're going to talk about your personal credit, what makes up your credit score, and etc. And then from there, we're going to move to loans and debt. And, we're going to talk about what is good debt versus bad debt. And more importantly, we're going to unpack, how do I get out of debt? We know that there are just millions of people who are in debt. And if we, look at the US debt calculator, it's an epidemic. I mean, it's a pandemic, right? You're talking about COVID-19. Well, what is debt? I mean, it's the financial version of COVID-19. And so we're going to talk about, how do I get out of debt? How do I get out of debt? What are the methods of getting out of debt? How do I do it? How do I set up that payment plan, etc.? And then after that, we really kind of shift to what we call the offense. And now we're going to talk about risk management, insurance, estate planning. And many of you guys have heard me say this before, is that, why do all these things to get your finances in order, get all your ducks in a row and all this type of thing, and then leave the will and healthcare power of attorney undone. And so now you let the state in which you live decide what's going to happen to your stuff. And then by the time you get done with all of that, I mean, the attorneys have taken 40%. And so that's a big part of the 5th week. And then the 6th week, is talking about retirement. We're going to talk about retirement planning, the types of things that you should be doing for retirement, different forms of retirement, whether we're defined benefit plan, defined contribution plan, all those type of things. So that kind of really rounds out the 6 weeks. And during this 6 weeks, and normally, we may come back based on how things are gone and the questions that people ask. We will come back with another week. We'll come back with a 7th week and unpack some things based on what's happened the first 6 weeks. And then along the way, we always make this offer. We always make an offer for a free appointment, a free consultation, where you can sit down with me or another one of our CFEIs, members of our team, and just kind of see where you are. Because again, I always say this, the diagnosis has to come before the cure. And so just unpacking where you are, what things you need to do. Do you need to increase your income? Do you need to get rid of debt? Is it, gaining more retirement assets, whatever it may be. So those are the types of things that we do. And so the 6-week program is absolutely outstanding. And I'm just so blessed to be able to work with so many of you and be able to sit down and develop a relationship And I always tell people now, once you work with me, we's family now. So, hey, listen, I got my first COVID shot. I don't know where y'all at, but I'm gonna find you because I heard JR handles that grill. Did I hear that right? Is that
yes, you did.
Right?
Yes, you
Okay,
did.
I heard that he handles that grill kind of well. So I'm about to find my way over there and see what's going on, what's cooking, what's percolating over at the
Come on
McKinney.
through.
You might mess around and get a chair massage too while you're here.
Listen,
Wow.
I'm on my way. Listen, that sounds like a plan to me. Barbecue and a massage. Come on, I'm there, man. Let me Google this. What's the address? I can put it in my GPS right now.
JR and Lisa. So Tony talked about the fact that you had some time with him, and as far as coaching session, and would love for you to share a little bit about what was that experience like.
Oh man, let me go.
Oh, it was a good experience. It was like a one-on-one experience. So Tony he made sure that he wouldn't just email him back and forth, that he would text you and he would call you and set up things through, because some of us is more like hands-on, like I got to talk to you, and
Right.
others email or whatever. But he done a good job of connecting with us at all times, setting up appointments, man, just bringing straight knowledge. And if anybody go to this class, you're going to pick up something. You're going to pick up something. Out of all these courses something's going to stick to you, and you're going to carry it on with you. So it's a great class to join.
Yeah, and also I can say that working with Tony, like he said, it's we become like family. We receive birthday cards from Tony and things like that. Like it is that person. We appreciate it too. It makes us feel special. I mean, we know that he has other clients as well, but I know that if I have a question, whether it is something that we're trying to do with the business or something with our personal investments or retirement or something like that, all we have to do is call. And Tony's going to get right back to us. We might set up a Zoom call so that we can just be face to face. If he has some things to show us, because I mean, we met during the peak of COVID, so we had to do everything electronically, but it was still personal, and we appreciate it.
Wow, that's powerful. That's powerful. This old saying, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, right? And that's a real testament of just the quality of this brother. I still think he's trying to write himself in the will, but you got to watch him. Watch him, right?
Right.
No, we're trying to get in his. I keep reminding you.
Listen,
That's right.
some people are easy to work with too. I mean, it's just like when that synergy's there. I think it's just God. I think God connects the right people with who they need when they need it, and it's so encouraging for me too, because I get a chance, I get an opportunity to do what I love to do, and you can't really put a price to that. Marlon, you all the time you talk about purpose, right? You talk about purpose, and I think that's so important. I want to just kind of talk a little bit about what your professional journey. I mean, we're talking about purpose. JR, I know, that you're at the airport, you're in a business, in a profession that was completely shut down, right? The pandemic comes in, shut down. I imagine airport traffic probably went to nil. So tell me, what was that like, and what helped you get through those tough times until things started to open back up when you could go back to work and do the things that you love doing?
Yeah, that was a tough time. I think it was a tough time for everybody. What I would say that got me through it, obvious prayer. I stayed praying. We pray together every day. So that's one of the things that kind of help you get through if you're having a tough time. Financially, we were still blessed because my wife was able to work, and I was still able to file for unemployment. I was still able to get something and be able to still continue to pay the bills. So, even when the doors seemed like they were shut down completely as far as financially with the money wise, it still worked out just fine for us. And we ever so blessed for it, and we give them praise all the time for it. And so that it really wasn't no stressful period of time or nothing. But once they, open it back up for the massages and whatnot, and we got, started gradually going into it with a lot of COVID signs, had to do the temperature check and just had to do everything real thorough, and gloves, and, just had to be real thorough and real clean about, your equipment you use and everything such. So, but it's been a great time, even during the hard time that we had, I was still blessed enough to keep on, moving. And right now it's like it's picking up. So, cause shots are being, everybody getting the shot, especially senior citizens, so that area just picked up for me. And, I'm blessed by it, and I'm just thankful.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I don't know, Lisa. You can tell me. Because I know you guys, right? I mean, I got to know you. You have an amazing story of how you ended up here in North Carolina. I don't know if that story is something that you can share that would encourage people. What do you think? What can you share with us?
Well, I initially, 20 years before I was able to actually move here, I thought I was going to move to Charlotte. And life happened, and it didn't happen at that particular point in time. And 11 years ago, my work anniversary was yesterday. So 11 years ago, I was working at a job in Ohio, and I'm a Southern girl. I'm from Tennessee. So, okay, I see you, Ohio. That's funny. So after I survived 3 winters in Ohio, I started exploring other opportunities because I could not fathom making it through another one. And after I looked around a little bit, wasn't really sure, exactly if I was going to try to go back home to Nashville, go back to Atlanta, where I had lived for 14 years, or just what. But the company that I worked for had an office in Charlotte, just north of Charlotte. And so I said, okay, if I can't find another job, I'm going to ask them, if they'll just let me work out of that office, because I can do what I do from anywhere. As we've learned in the last year, I've been doing it from home. And they agreed to let me relocate to Charlotte. And that's how I ended up here. And so now I'm only about 3.5 hours from my son and my grandbabies. And I'm much closer to Nashville, closer to my family at home. And then I met this guy.
Listen, look at God, right? Look at God, right? So God kind of orchestrates all things. And that's the thing I saw when you shared that with me, is just how God will line things up. It's just like he knows what we need when we need it. And had you came here 20 years ago, you might not have met that man sitting next to you, right? But it was God's timing that brings it all together. And so I think that's just a wonderful story of how God does that. And so thank you for sharing, opening that up and letting us get a peek in there.
You're welcome.
See, Chase is like, wow, love it, right? And that's it. What's it's all about. So I want to know, JR, Lisa, how did you guys meet?
Well, he was my massage therapist.
Are you serious?
And he's the best.
Wow. Okay.
So initially we met. It was all business. It was all business at first. And after a few years, so one, I kept referring people to him. And one day he texted me and he said, "You have sent so many people to me that I owe you a free massage." And I said, "Okay, I'll take it," because he's literally the best. And and then over time, it was a few years, we developed a friendship, and then that friendship evolved, and we've been married now almost 3 years.
Wow. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Look at God.
Wow. What was it about Lisa that really just, made her stand out?
It was her lady, the way she acted, her, way she carried herself. A lot of class. A lot of class, man. In order. I'm talking about organized from like you never seen this type of organization before. I'm telling you. I'm talking about the shoes, got the colors on them. The brown shoes are brown, the black shoes are black, and all the pants together. I mean, she's just so organized, man. And that, that woven it into me, and then she was just a lady, like just real classy, like and it made me always want to come back because I didn't get to taste it. You know what I mean? So it made you want to come back to get to taste it. So, each time you think you're going to taste it, but you know what I mean?
Behave yourself. But no, I love it. And the reason why I asked the question is because I just want, those of you that are out there, right now, there's a lot of, I run across a lot of people who reach out to me and just talk about, Marlon, man, man, it can be lonely, right? And, I think the thing is when you work on yourself and you are comfortable with yourself, then that light shines. And so I just wanted to, hear your story because again, two halves don't make a whole, right? You have to be whole within yourself. And I think that's what I'm hearing, that really, JR, really, there's this just glow with Lisa because like, wow, she is together, she's in her, in her flow. So thank you for sharing. That was really special. I know it's blessed some individuals, some viewers that are watching. I just wanted to, really, and I see Chase say, yeah, it does, right? And so other people are like, wow, it really does. They can see the love, they can see the chemistry, and that's a beautiful thing. So we celebrate that.
And man, I just want to say this too. I want to encourage, man, because we're talking about Black Couples Getaway. We're talking about the Marriage Club, and I want to encourage the single people out there too. I just want to encourage you to know that that God has someone for you if that's what you want. Some people are single; they're happy being single, and I'm not. If that's what you want, then I think that's awesome. But just being happy with who you are, your relationship with God. If you're I don't want to say religious, but if you are a believer, right? And so I just want to encourage everyone to not be discouraged because we're talking about Black couples and the marriage couple. But I do think this. I do think that our young people need to see good examples of good, strong relationships. And, and that journey could be different for everybody. My journey's different than Marlon's. Lisa and JR's journey is different than ours. But whatever journey you're on, just know that God has you, right? God has you. God has your best interest at heart. He said that, I know the plans that I have for you. Jeremiah 29:11. I know the plans I have for you. And so I want to encourage everyone to just, when you look at this and you see this beautiful couple in between Marlon and I, know that whether you are in a relationship or out of a relationship, whatever it is, just, stay with God, man. Just know and be comfortable with who you are. Know what you want. Know what you're willing to accept and what you're willing that you don't want to accept. And until, I don't think that we can be whole for another person until we become whole for ourselves, right? And so I just wanted to just say that. I just wanted to encourage everyone out there that your happiness, whether you want to be single, whether you want someone, it's there. It's there. It's just a matter of when and where God chooses to do that. And so I don't know where that came from, but that's just from my heart, y'all. I just wanted, because I know sometimes, because of me, I mean, I've been married 28 years. It'll be 29 years when we get to Dominican, right? And so, and so that's my world, and that's the world that I speak from. But I do recognize that that's not everyone's journey. And I just wanted to just take this moment to encourage everybody, regardless of what your journey is, to enjoy that journey and know. I remember someone once told me this. He said, every experience you have in life, ask the simple question, Lord, what would you have me to learn from this experience? And what would you have me to do with that learning? And so I don't know, that kind of deep, serious moment, but I just wanted to share that. I don't know what pulled that out of me, but I just wanted to share that with people tonight. So
awesome.
Listen, man, it's been another great episode of The Real Money Coach. And I wanted, again, to remind people of this. I wanted to remind you of making sure that you register for April 6th with Dr. Boyce Watkins, man. If you don't know who this dude is, you better get to YouTube or Google. You better check him out, right? And then also for BCG and the Marriage Club, we want to just make sure you know that you can register for the 6-week class. Normally, it's $197. We're taking half off of that. The code that you would register for, you can either use the BCG code, and Marlene, just correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the BCG code is BCG 2021.
Yes.
And the Marriage Club code is MC Love 2021. Or is it just 21? Okay, so those are the codes. You don't have to be a member of either one of those to use the code, but use one of those two codes. And I don't know. I feel almost seem like it ought to be a contest to see how many people register under which code. But because I'm a competitive type of guy, right? So use one of those codes. Register for the 6-week program, and that's only going to cost you $97 for the 6-week program, and that's per couple. So you don't have to do 2 of those. You just do one. We're gonna provide the great information for you, and then also mark your calendar. Mark your calendar for April 24th at 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Again, the lineup is Dr. George Frazier, Megan Lynch, and Eugene Mitchell. And then the keynote speaker will be Mr. Les Brown himself. You got to be hungry, right? So it's going to be Mr. Les Brown himself. So that's it from my end. Marlon, what you think?
It's been a great program, and we just want to say, hey, you saw tonight, JR and Lisa, you saw the McKinney, how special it can be when you're in your flow, and whether or not you're single, married, divorced, widowed, and that to me is the power. We talked about, really the mind, body, money, right? And just really understanding that, you are on this earth for a reason. So it's been another phenomenal program. Again, I know there were questions in the chat box. Please feel free to send an email to info@therealmoneycoach.com if you have any questions or anything we can be a blessing for you, because there's greatness within you. And so in closing, remember this: a vision without action is just a dream. A lot of action without a vision is merely a passing of time. But a vision with action can change the world. Stay blessed.